So, the question being posed here is, what is MAGA even about at this point? And the question is, it's positioned over an image of some individuals whom classify themselves as white, and they have on some makeup styling that would be called blackface. And that's easy. What is MAGA? They're being Republicans. They're being post-Civil Rights Act Republicans, as post-Civil Rights Act Republicans have been since Strom Thurmond and the Dixiecrats switched parties. And this is why books matter, and also people my age and up should be telling your children this at single digit age when they're small, down low there to the ground and they're little. I knew Strom Thurmond's name before I was of double digit age. Knew who he was, knew what he was about, and knew what political party he was with before the Civil Rights Act, and knew why he switched after it passed the same year. All right, you're going to see videos online that lie and say, oh, he switched parties in the 70s, or ones that say the 80s, ones that even say the 90s. The actual government paperwork shows that he switched the same year the Civil Rights Act passed. And that's just what these people are. All right, that's why Rush Limbaugh was made an honorary member of Congress by Newt Gingrich. That same Newt Gingrich who, he is the reason why they have the cameras switching and swivel cameras on C-SPAN, because he used to go out there and pretend to be talking to a room full of Democratic Party members, and he was actually yelling at an empty room. They're bad faith actors, and they're the type of people that like to put on this makeup styling that they call blackface. They're just being Republicans. MAGA is just a cutesy little nickname for people who were already like that. All right, it's like that. And that's the way it is. Some running man named DMC said that once. Capitalism incentivizes interesting behavior, and because there's this thing called dignity, and well, when the bills are due, the dignity could be for sale. So every single Republican entertainer of whom is classified as black is effectively a DEI hire. It would be DEIA, but they're not really into accessibility. That's nonsense. Not necessary. They don't need it, okay? And the reason being is because they are there for plausible deniability. It's a sort of social contract pay to play to one degree or another. And right now, for the post-Civil Rights Act Republican Party, a relatively popular one would be Terrence K. Williams. Little guy. Little short, little Eazy-E sized guy. Little, he's not very correct, but he's sort of shaped like Eric Wright. Little guy. And little Terrence there, he put this image up of how to destroy America in one easy step. 1. Keep voting Democrat. And it's an AI image of a city block in disrepair. Looks like it's post-earthquake more so than anything. Right? Like, what's this knocked over business? Like, you couldn't front like it's an actual picture from 9/11 because the cars are from the 70s. Like, what is this? But that's his job. He has to be there to do that. And he knows that he's their little token N-word. He knows how his so-called friends speak of him when he's not present. Or maybe even when he is present. I think that would be fun, right? Like, let's hear how, when behind partisan closed doors, right? Not ethnic or so-called racial closed doors, but behind partisan closed doors. How are Republicans who classify themselves as white speaking to their black DEI hires? That might be interesting. Terrence K. Williams simply doing his job. Some call it just following orders. It looks like Representative Andy Ogles, could be Ogles, but I'm sure he's done a fair bit of ogling. Representative Andy Ogles put up a video clip of when the second plane hit the tower. I remember seeing that live from my, ironically, economics class when I was at Lincoln Park High School on the day that Jay-Z dropped the classic album, The Blueprint. And he put that image up of the plane hitting the tower and put, "Wake up, New York." This was in getting ready for Zoran Mamadani to kind of predictably win, you know. And much to the chagrin of one Joseph Rogan. And one individual responded saying, "This is 1,000 times worse than every tasteless Charlie Kirk joke combined," which, excuse me, my Charlie Kirk jokes are in great taste. Lots of flavor, if you will. But they said, worse than those, and they're saying, "We're not talking about random edgy TikTok kids here. This is a sitting congressman. The GOP is the enemy of humanity." Not really a counterpoint, but I'll say what this isn't. This is not serious political discourse on the part of Representative Andy. But what this is, it is how you get Pete Davidson to perform at your birthday party. And if you want Bill Burr, you know, maybe Photoshop out the plane for a helicopter. Bill Burr's a helicopter guy. All right? Fun stuff. Neo-Confederate soldiers that got jobs as ICE agents. That's sort of the, they're not really secret police. Like, they're not even police. They're soldiers for the Confederate States of America. We are in a Confederate takeover. Something that these neo-Confederate soldiers are doing is attacking Union state citizens with tear gas. Just casual citizens, because they can. What are you going to do about it? Huh? I mean, you could do something. There are options. Is Illinois stand your ground state? If you fear for your life, no duty to retreat. And it's not like they're identifying themselves. And a whole bunch of rapists are pretending to be Confederate soldiers. So, hey, whatever you do, I don't condemn it. So over here in an area called Broadview, outside a immigration detention facility, which is the that's how you say concentration camp with your pinky out. You know, gonna sip the beverage. So outside this immigration detention concentration camp, residents have complained of their children feeling the impacts of chemical agents while in their backyards or even inside their homes. Chicago Public Schools have had to move elementary school recess indoors after tear gas was deployed, and teachers have complained of helicopters hovering over their schools, scaring students. You see, so they're physically harming people and terrifying people in the name of a policy position or a political choice. Which seems to me, it seems like terrorism. It seems like it. You know, somebody break that one all the way downward dog for me. All right? So, they further tell us in this NBC News article that most recently schools in North Suburban Evanston were impacted. On Friday, Border Patrol agents, Confederate soldiers, these Border Patrol agents deployed chemical agents in the city, citing nearby immigration activities. All schools in the district were placed on lockdown, according to the mayor. A statement from the Department of Homeland Security says, quote, "Let me be extremely clear for all Chicago media. We are not targeting schools." Notice the language there. First it says, "Let me be clear." That means one person wrote it with their own opinion fully in mind. And then they put Chicago media. What's the main thing that they keep telling you they hate? The media. You know, if they're feeling fancy with it, they'll say the mainstream media. Right? And if they want to have the wake up sheeple libertarian attitude, they'll say the lamestream media. So they're really showing you that less and less they're using the Lee Atwater dog whistles. Less and less. They're getting back. The 1978 rule is on its way out, Pimp Juice. It's on its way out. And what do they say? We are not targeting schools. Not is capitalized, and this is in quotations. Now, also keep in mind, what does the great Nicole Sandler from RadioOrNot.com say? It's opposite world with these people. If they say they're not targeting schools, it's because they are targeting schools. A DHS spokesperson said the agents were in the area to arrest 5 undocumented individuals, saying, quote, "whose criminal histories have included criminal trespass and multiple illegal entries into the country." Who? Name names. The fuck are the name? It's only 5 names. You put first and last, that's 10 names. I know that's double digits. It can get challenging. You should at least have the piece of paper in front of you with their names. You could say, yo, this fucking guy, that fucking guy, those fucking guys, these fucking guys. You could say that. Why aren't you saying that? Could you be lying? I think they're lying. Something tells me they're lying. It is okay to treat unserious people as though they are unserious. This individual calls himself Matt Van Swole. Too many names now, right? Anyone can just grift it up. Anyone could just make up a name and put up an AI picture. Who knows who is what, right? And right-wingers are very incentivized because they are the modern Puritans, and the Puritans have what they want societally, and they don't want to lose it, right? Like, think about it. The Puritans have nuclear weapons, you know? And this Matt Van Swole account tells us that he is convinced that we could solve nearly all SNAP issues overnight if SNAP only covered whole foods and meat and nothing else. Vegetables, meat. End of list. Which is control freak, wacky weirdo nonsense. They have a very, very big problem with minding their business. And this is before taxes existed. Now, right? That was why the Puritans ran the hell up out of Europe. Because they're pieces of shit that can't mind their own business. They always have to mind your business, right? They go invading the planet in other areas. What's the first thing they do? They immediately, like, you think that it's not new sexualizing indigenous people, right? Those that we'd say are indigenous women, right? I never know if folks are like non-binary, you know, you never know, but indigenous women, indigenous girls, hypersexualized by the Puritans already, simply by existing, right? They're gonna say it's because of your clothes, or because you dance like this, or because you walk like that. No, it's because you exist. Because their patriarchy simply sexualizes everything and everyone. But then also they want to control everyone. They don't like that you're doing something that doesn't affect them and that they can't see you doing. Hell, they don't even know if that's what you're doing. The very thought that you're doing something that they don't think that they allow you to bothers them. But then just look at the lack of logic here. So you go busting your keister on a shift, like, hell, let's use myself as an example, right? Let's get anecdotal. Before I took this gig that I have where I'm doing 12-hour shifts, I had a gig where I was doing 17-hour shifts. And before the 17-hour shifts, I was doing 18-hour shifts. Am I supposed to get home from 18-hour shifts and, okay, I'm going to have enough time for personal hygiene, little bit of recreation, adequate sleep so that my heart doesn't explode. But also, let me sit here and peel potatoes. Right, let me sit here and cut up some onions. Let's give it a go. There's no time for that. I gotta hustle. I need something frozen that I can microwave quicker than fast, or something that's already cooked. And that's what other people need as well. Like, even though I don't receive any of these things, there are folks that work just as full-time as I do that do need these things. And I say, let them get what they gotta get. Yes, I want them to get the pre-cooked, currently hot chicken. I want them to get the hot chicken on my tax dollar. Good. And keep in mind, it's also their tax dollar. You realize that the people that are receiving the SNAP and the EB this, that, and the other, they pay taxes too, Futhermucker. What's your deal? But the deal is the sadism. Keep using the sadism, even though I respect cruelty is the point as well. I'll also say that. But they are sadistic. They are sadists. I say, go to your bookshelf. Open up, I have a bookshelf behind me over there, right? Open up your bookshelf and open up your dictionary. Look up the word sadism. And as you're looking at that definition, think about everything you've ever heard a Republican say your entire life. It's what they are, baby. Now, according to AI videos on Fox News and in the Black Manosphere, right-wing space online, according to these AI videos, and according to neo-Confederate Christian pundits, I was told that people of whom are classified as black would be stealing. They were just gonna load up grocery carts and just steal. They were gonna go into stores and they were gonna bum rush the stores because they didn't get their snappy TVs or EBT snaps. I've never been able to access these programs, so I don't really know them that well. But I want everyone else to be able to access them. Hell, what if I need to access them one day? I want them to be there, right? But I was told with full confidence that would be going on. These criminals would be out there criminalifying. But what I see here from this relatively high quality security camera footage is a man that would be classified as white out here stealing. Oh, stealing ass boy. What they doing out there in Jacksonville, Florida? I'll tell you what. It looks like in Jacksonville, Florida, the sheriff's office said they're looking for two men folk that they believe stole $2,000 worth of trading cards from a big box retailer. I'm starting to wonder, many moons ago, about a quarter century ago, some would say, a stand-up funny man from Brooklyn, calls himself Chris the Rock. He presented the idea that maybe the metal detectors are in the wrong schools. You got Kip Kinkle, you got Columbine, who knows whatever the hell else, right? The internet wasn't as robust as it is now back then, right? And this rocking Chris presented that idea. And now I'm also wondering, when it comes to grocery store security, grocery store employees, and whom they are told to keep an extra eye on, who you need to follow around the store, make sure they're not stealing. Maybe they're following around the wrong people. So I gotta tell you, I don't steal from the store. And it's an option. You could do it, right? There aren't cameras everywhere. Pockets exist, right? You could do things like cuff the bottom of your pants into your sock and drop shit in there and move around, move about, right? Like you can go in the dressing room and rip the tags off of stuff and rip off the security thing so it doesn't beep when you walk out, and walk out with the brand new gear on. Oh, you could put the brand new gear on in the dressing room and just put your gear on over it. You could do that. I don't do that shit. On the one, I as they said in the 90s, I ain't going out like that. Right? I'm not gonna have the homies like, hey, cuz I heard you was stealing from the store in your 40s. But this guy seems to have a hairline pushed farther back than mine and stole $2,000 worth of trading cards. 2 men at that. 2 white men. And I wonder if they're Christian. If I ever interview white criminals, I ask them if they're Christian first. So the JSO out there in Jacksonville, they posted about the theft on their Facebook page in the weekly feature Wanted Wednesday. The post did not state the name of the store, the cards that were stolen, but stated that the theft occurred October 14th at a retailer located on River City Drive. The post also contained 2 surveillance photos of the suspects, one of whom was pushing a red shopping cart with a red Target logo on it. And also, just from the image, it looks like Cuz was looking at the security camera. Like, fuck you gonna do? I'm a white man. Well, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Chris Rock said maybe the metal detectors are in the wrong school. And I'm saying maybe you're following the wrong people around the store.